Hello again. We will talk about mooring to a dock using these mooring lines with a concrete block into the water, and we will also talk about if instead it's a buoy and you have a concrete block put to a buoy. This is a little very typical Swedish way with the buoys, and typical like Mediterranean with these mooring lines. And this is the dock. We have some water here, we have the concrete block here, and then the mooring line here, and fortunately we have the wind from the dock, and we want to go with our transom to the dock. So well, we're coming here with our boat. We need to prepare it. So what we will prepare is, okay, we will probably have some neighbors here, so we will put some fenders on. I like to have the fenders really close to my transom, because if I'm going to bump into some other boat, it will be with this corner of the boat, and if it's protected with a fender, it doesn't matter that much, it's fine. If not, it's really bad. And I have the ball fender back, and I prepare with some mooring lines, put them onto my cleats here, make sure that they are going outside, so when I throw them they're going directly to my cleat, and not like inside my pulpit, pushpit here. Not good. Not good image if it's inside and you throw it away and it's still inside your pulpit. Really bad. So really, when you tie them onto your cleat, make sure they're coming outside the pulpit. Okay, well, good. We have prepared our boat. We have a little side wind, so perhaps we will go like this and then go in reverse. And it's actually quite good to have some speed here, and make sure when you're going reverse, make sure that you get some speed, and to avoid the prop walk, the propeller drive, get some speed, put the engine into neutral and steer. And also when you steer and you have some speed, make sure that your wheel will not go into its end of the steering too hard. Really have a good grip on the wheel, so it's not going all the way and destroy the steering. So keep quite a steady hand on the wheel. I usually put myself looking backwards, so I turn myself 180 degrees and have my wheel on my side, or even in my back. Firm grip, do some speed, go to neutral, steer, and then we're coming to the dock. We have this ball fender here, so we will not hit the boat to the dock. And then there's quite a few things to do now. Well, we have the mooring lines. So we take the mooring lines perhaps back and forth to the dock, or if it's really windy, especially if it's side wind, it could be a good option to just take the line either really fast back or tie them to a cleat with, say, 3 meters rope, 3 meters gap between the boat and the dock, and make it sure there. And then when you have them here, put the engine forward. Then the boat will like hanging to the mooring lines, and you will avoid to hit anything else. Then take the mooring line. Hopefully you have some help from the dock here, or you have to jump over, get the mooring line up, go with it, walk with it to the front, and it's usually kind of a lot of clay, a lot of dirt on it, so try to have it outside the boat. Make sure that you're not pulling it up. You pull it up from forward, but you have to let it down backwards on your back of the boat, after the boat, so it's not tight, because if it's tight it might be going into your propeller. You have to go down to the bottom again. While you're walking with the mooring line to your bow, you can make sure that you're releasing these mooring lines, so you have like a space of 3 meters perhaps, and then tighten up here. And when you tighten up, make a sign. Sign for tighten up is a cross. You might take 2 mooring lines, and when they are tightened up, you go reverse with your engine, and at the same time you go reverse, you just take your mooring lines and pull them harder to your cleats. And when you have a good distance and a good tight grip onto your mooring line, tighten them to your cleats. Of course, you need to make sure that there's enough space so you can actually walk down to the dock, but also space enough so you have some safety distance. You cannot be too tight, or you cannot be too far. If you think that okay, you're too far, you have to do it again. You release your mooring lines, and the opposite, if you're too tight, go out again, go out a little further out, like 3.5, 4 meters perhaps, tighten them up, go back. This is depending on how the depth is, how tight the mooring line is, of course the wind and other things, how far you will go out from the dock until you really tighten up the mooring line to your bow. This is a buoy instead here. You do it pretty much the same thing, but we prepare with a long rope, tighten to our bow, and we go to the stern with it with a long rope. Make sure it's quite long, so when the boat is passing the buoy, you pass it here, you bring it on. I usually make sure that I have so long rope so that I can make it double, so I just thread it into the buoy needle and take it back to the boat. But then everything is the same, going back, taking mooring lines, going out, tighten up the buoy really hard. Perhaps you should go out a little further, like 5 meters, tighten up, and then go reverse with your engine. If we look on the side, this is the bottom now, and this is the water line, and we have the concrete block here, and then we have put our boat here. Well, if it's a mooring line, we have the mooring going pretty much like this. See, it's not really fully straight, but kind of straight. The problem with the buoy is if you have a buoy here, that's floating, depending on how much pull you have here, and then you pull there and it's going there, and you might pull this down like this. You often see the buoys are into the water. Some buoys are even down in the water, but you see there's some flex here, so if we get a big wave coming from a passing boat, this with the buoy might get us jumping into the dock. So you need some extra space between the dock and the boat. Make sure that you have the big fender, the ball fender back here, so this flexibility doesn't harm your boat when it jumps into the dock, if it does. Okay, This is mooring to a dock. It's you usually can have quite much adrenaline because it's, well, you're not alone here. There's other boats here, people watching, and so you can practice this. Take a day, practice this, go in and out from the dock 10-20 times. It's always helpful.